Hello there, everybody. We are here to review the last two episodes of Skeleton Crew. And I gotta say, this show wrapped up pretty decently, pretty nicely. But I gotta say, it was not really what I was expecting. So, the seventh episode, we're gonna be in so much trouble. It's basically where the kids can finally find their way back to At. But of course, they're gonna run into Jude's character. Jude Law. I know he has a name. I have a hard time saying it, but I finally learned all the kids' names. It took a bit. I'm so sorry, but we basically got Fern, Wim, Neil, KB. So basically, they're all getting home, but of course, they are ambushed by Jude Law and his pirate gang, and they basically put them I forget. But they basically get on the ship. The kids hide, but Jude Law and the droid basically sneak on board, and he puts on his helmet, and he still's got his lightsaber. We didn't see it the last few episodes since he turned it on, but when we do see him turn it on, it's like, ooh, it's intimidating. It's a lot of people are comparing Jude Law threatening the kids with the lightsabers, like how Anakin threatened the younglings. You know what I'm talking about. And I could see the comparison for sure. But he's not even really a Jedi. He's just using his pirate ways to get what he wants. And he's basically going to use the kids by threatening them. But he basically does get knocked out when the kids are able to reprogram the droids. And they basically try to escape. And while he's knocked out, they have to go through the asteroid. And we actually get some really nice shots of At. Since they basically got to go through the storm and the clouds there. And it looks really nice. So yeah, we learned a little bit more about At. It's basically just one tiny world that's like surrounded by other surroundings, basically, which was nice. But once they do get to the planet, I think Jude Law does wake up, and he actually slices the droid up, and it's sad to watch. But I think they do rebuild him later in the episode 8. But earlier in the episode, the parents, they actually get a moment. The parents actually managed to sneak their way around At without the droids trying to suspect them. But the droids chase them around, and they basically send a holo message to the kids. And they basically say, you're not in trouble, we just want you back home, which was nice. And even Wim's dad, he ends up telling him, like, hey, I'm going to be there for you once you get back. But as this is happening, when the kids do reunite with their kids, it's actually really nice. But unfortunately, Jude Law ends up finding a vault of treasures. We find out that all their work the parents have done and all the other people who live at they basically have a bunch of just statues of gold. Credits, whatever you want to call it. And Jude Law basically just grabs it like a greedy pirate, even though he is. But we think that's it. Once the kids reunite with their parents, but unfortunately it is interrupted by Jude Law turning on the lightsaber, and it's like, woo. But that's where we get to the season 1 finale of the show, since I don't know if we're getting a season 2. But basically, the really good guys is basically where Jude Law pretends to be like he's the savior of the kids, like he turns off the lightsaber, and they did leave the episode off with a cliffhanger, episode 7, but we see what happens. He basically teams up with Fern and her mom, and they're gonna go into the vault of droids, and basically, Jude Law basically starts a sort of pirate war, where he's going to take over At, and he's gonna go into the vault, and basically, the kids couldn't stop him or confess that he's an evil pirate. They basically are forced by security droids because he managed to reprogram them. And they basically all go back to their homes. And we get this one exchange between Wim and his dad. Where Wim's dad wants him to work just like he is, but Wim is highly against it. But the droid interrupts. But what happens is, Fern is able to manage to say to the once they get to the security thing, Jude Law tries to convince him that he's the good guy, but she manages to say no, he's a pirate who's out for himself, and he manages to pull out the lightsaber and just take out a bunch of the droids in there, and he basically stabs it into the security talking thing. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names, but he basically stabs it, and he cuts the entire power of AT-AT. We even see like the moving sort of cars in the streets, and we even see all the kids look outside. But Wim is basically able to convince his dad that basically Jude Law is basically an evil pirate, and they have to go stop him. But KB and Neil end up sneaking a bunch of speeder bikes, and they basically team up. Wim's dad's against it, but eventually he does he starts to slowly understand his son, and they basically ride the speeder bikes across the land as the pirates show up and attack AT-AT. And basically the finale is just them versus the pirates. And KB manages to fix the droid MB, I think his name is, I'm sorry. But they steal the ship, the pirate ship, and they basically are leading the way so they can find a way to send a signal to the Republic so they can rescue them. And that's basically what they're trying to do. And KB takes over the ship, like I said, and she manages to fight off the pirates. But unfortunately, she gets shot down, and you actually thought she was gonna die. I honestly didn't think she was gonna die, but her strength is able to manage to send a signal to the New Republic, and we get this, and we even see the return of the Owl character. I thought she was cool. She ends up sending a signal to the New Republic, and we see a bunch of X-Wings, and they're able to stop the pirates from attacking AT-AT, and we basically get a finale where Wim comes to rescue Fern and her mom, and they even tried to plan out what they were going to do next. But Jude Law's like, ooh, stop planning. But he ends up showing up, and it's a big battle because Jude Law basically has the Force, and he's able to restrain them from turning the power back on. But they're doing whatever it takes to take him out. But I think later, Wim does get the lightsaber, and it's quite large, but they managed to, I think, knock him down a little. I forget how they did it, sorry. But they managed to turn the power back on, and Wim turns on the lightsaber. It's very cool looking. But basically, everyone leaves as the pirates are taken down by the New Republic. And I almost thought Jude Law died at the end, but no, he doesn't. Just that his entire cruise ship he was on with the remaining pirates, they all get shot down, and the ship basically gets destroyed. And the fellow kids rescue KB from the crash, and she's basically alive, thank goodness. And the episode ends with Wim staring at what appears to be the Tatooine 4. And I thought we were going to see Leia, but in this episode, because she's usually known for being in the Tatooine 4, but that's basically it. We didn't even get like a post-credit scene. That's probably for the best, but basically the show ends with a bunch of slideshows of the stories Wim looked at when he was trying to research about the Jedi. And so that's Skeleton Crew. So this show was definitely had a lot of heart to it. The kids are actually really good in this. Like, you can tell they were really well acted. Jude Law was easily a highlight of this. And I hope we do see his character return. And who knows? But some people are saying the show is not going to get a season 2 because of low viewership. But I don't know. That doesn't really diminish the quality of the show, because there are some really good looking scenes in this show. But overall, I thought Skeleton Crew was definitely a decent show for sure. I don't think it was my favorite of the Mandoverse, but these kids really worked well with each other. And I hope we do see them again. Maybe we'll see them in the Mando and Grogu movie. I'd really like to see them interact with Mando and Grogu. And I know that sounds cliche since people are getting tired of the whole Star Wars cameos, but surprisingly, this show did not really show any familiar characters. I mean, there was this one pirate character, Nikto, that was in Mando Season 3, but that was really it. No one else. This is all original characters, which is nice, is what Star Wars needs. But who knows? Maybe Season 2 could explore the kids joining the rebellion, or they probably wouldn't be allowed to since they're pretty young, or maybe we can learn. I was hoping we would learn more about the whole AT-AT, if it's like secretly not a safe place, but I don't know. Do I want a Season 2? I hope we do. But yeah, I don't think I got anything else to say about this, but I don't know what's next for Star Wars. I think we're getting Andor Season 2. We're probably going to get a lot more revealed this April. That's going to take a bit, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I look forward to what's next for Star Wars. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.